Hi guys, welcome back to another vlog.
We are somewhere looking for greener pastures because of opportunities, because we are not getting what we want back home, and yet we are not being valued. Only few do value us. Yes. So as for discrimination, it's a whole lot.
Hi, good afternoon and welcome back to my vlog. Could you please introduce yourself?
Good afternoon everyone. My name is Hannah Abugre-Wintema. You can call me Hannah for short.
Nice to meet you. So tell me, how long have you been here in Japan?
So basically I have been here for, should I say, 1.5 to 2 years. I actually arrived here in 2021 October. That was the, should I say, post-COVID period, and we had to go through series of quarantine, and it was something else, but thank God we were able to go through.
2021, that's quite a long time. So are you working here or you are studying? What do you do here in Japan?
So basically, as my intro stated earlier, though it wasn't clear, but I came as a student. I had a scholarship through the Japanese government. That's a MEXT Scholar. You know, there are different scholarships provision here, but I came with a MEXT Scholarship, so I am a MEXT Scholar. That's how we are called. And I used to work with the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation prior to my study, and I completed school in 2022 September. I was supposed to go back home, but you know, from the African perspective, where we all know where we come from, you know, when you have the opportunity, you decide to look for greener pastures after school. And I was actually preparing to go home. Just a week to my departure, I had to cancel my flights because I had a job, and it was a good news for me, and that's how come I stayed. So I would say currently I'm no more a student, I'm working.
Oh, okay, that's very nice. So how is your life in Japan so far?
Should I say it's a mixed feeling? Should I? Yes, I wouldn't say it's good or bad. It's mixed reaction, mixed feeling, because we are here for a purpose. You came as a student, and then transition to work. Things hasn't been easy to transition from being a student, international student, to being a worker. It hasn't been easy because you are a foreigner in a different continent, not just a different country within your continent, but a different country in a different continent altogether. And not just any continent, but a continent we know, which is Asian continent. But I will say that it's good or bad. It's good because I will say it has given me the opportunity to explore, because I've done and seen so many things. I have learned so many things. I have learned the good and the bad outside my country, which I think is good. And on the other side, the bad, because I've also encountered certain things that I think and I wish my country was a developed economy, I wouldn't have come. But due to certain things or challenges that we face in our countries in the African diaspora, it's the reason some of us go through some of these things. So I think it's good and bad. So I'll say it's a mixed feeling.
Thank you so much. I think I agree with you on the aspects of having a mixed feelings, especially if you don't have a family or a brother, a sister, mother. It's just you. Definitely you feel that one. If you don't have friends, but maybe if you have friends, maybe the feeling is quite different, right?
Yeah. So the reason I said it's mixed feelings is the fact that, let me give you a short narration about my experience. You know, after school, when I had a job, I was told it's going to be a 1-year contract. Unfortunately, around December, they have to cancel the contract with the notion that students have stopped schooling in some of the schools, so they have to close down. And that's one thing I've discovered about the Japanese system. When the schools start reducing and the number of students start reducing, they end up merging the schools. Yes, so maybe if we have school A, B, C, they can merge A, B as one school. It means a number of people are going to lose their job. So that was my case, and they don't seem to care about what's going to happen to you, because you employed me and you asked me to move to the city. I rented, got a room, moved in November, only to be told I had to quit that job. So it comes with a whole lot of trauma, mixed feeling. That's why I said mixed feeling, because it means you have to go out there and look for another job.
Yeah, I think I understand what you're saying, especially if you have no plan B, like in your mind you feel like, I have a job, unexpectedly you are asked to leave.
Exactly, because it was unexpected. So, and I never anticipated something of that sort could happen. I know one thing about we African, when we travel, we tend to be pushing the little income we have back home, because there is so much demand from family and friends. And the annoying part is some friends demand request for help, and then even if you are not able to provide for them within that period, they tend to get angry, forgetting that they have no idea what you are going through or what you are doing, and they tend not to appreciate the little you do for them. So some of us, we have friends that we want to help because we feel that they are in situations or they are in a country where opportunity does not exist. We've done all this, so that is my situation. I never anticipated I was going to lose my job within that short period. So from my first, second, third month, I was pushing all my money back home because people were demanding paying school fees of my siblings and then friends, because I'm that what do you call it? I'm that giving type. I feel so pity when someone is in need and I feel that, okay, I have a little. So sometimes I feel like, okay, maybe next month I'll be paid, so let me push the little I have for this person. I use a little I have to pay for some medical bills of some friends and relatives, and unexpectedly I lost my job at the points I never planned for. So that was the challenge. However, the good side of being here is the fact that within 1 month, no matter how lowest your income is, if you convert it to your currency, it's something big. Because comparing to where I used to work, I was earning just about 3,000 Ghana cedis, which I don't know the amount of 3,000 Ghana cedis to Nigerian naira, but it's something. Maybe should I say it's about 6,000 times of what I used to earn. Even more than that, maybe 10 times of how much I used to earn. So it means the little amount of money you earn here, when you convert it or transfer it to your home country, you'll be able to use it for something good, something beneficial. So it's one of the reasons why people endure the pain, the struggle, and whatever we go through to stay, because no matter how bad the situation is, if you work within a short period, you'll be able to do something back home. So that's the good side of it. I wouldn't discourage people not to come. Yes, the most important thing is studying the system, understanding the people, and know who you are, know where you come from. You can never be equal to them. That is one thing I've learned about these Japanese people. They can never treat you equally. Yeah, no matter how good you are, just that they are a little bit free and fair when it comes to your salary. Whatever you have worked for, you'll be paid. It's not like my country where people could work for months, years, and their salaries are backlogged, are locked somewhere that government keep on promising, or the agency keep on promising them. You see, so you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
Here, if you work, if it is 2 months, you'll be paid. No matter if it is 2 weeks, you'll be paid. So for that one, that's the good side of it, despite the challenges. So
yeah, I agree with you in that aspect. My final question is, since you came to Japan, have you ever feel discriminated against, or maybe racism, or feel discriminated since you came to Japan? Have you?
Well, should I say discriminated? Yes, one way or the other, it's either discriminatory, because there are certain places. I know Japanese, it said that if you don't understand the language, that's one disadvantage of being in Japan. If you don't understand the language, it's going to be difficult for you to secure a job. That is one way. So if you really want to stay and enjoy living in Japan, then one, study Nihongo. Apart from that, if you want to get employed in a very important institution, then be sure of studying the language. Otherwise, forget it. The only thing you'll be able to do is either in the teaching institutions, the education sector, and probably the hospitality industry, where you could be involved in helping in bedding and then other things. But like big companies which could recruit you with your experiences and capabilities, it's going to be difficult if you don't understand the language. However, there's also the opportunity for you to work with international organizations like ECOWAS, UN, and the rest, if they have they are in need of someone. But one other thing is, sometimes they still consider the language. If you don't understand, they'll be like, oh, we wish you could speak Japanese, because they know definitely you'll be working with the Japanese people. And coming to education sector, where I have worked for, because that is where I was placed from the start and from the beginning in my schooling year. But discrimination comes in when you know, you qualify, you understand, you know what you're doing, yet they bypass you. They can even recruit you and later tell you, we are unable to offer you the position. Why? Because you are not an American. They tend to consider and then focus more on American accent. You know, some of us are from the British background where we were trained in British English, but there's just a slightly difference between American and then British. Yeah, these people are so much attached to this American English. So the moment they realize you are not from America, they feel you can't speak English, they feel you are not good at it, they will not even listen to you. Sometimes they don't even want to listen to you. So sometimes I've come in contact with some organization. I remember my last interview just last week, and the lady was like, wow, you guys speak, I've interviewed I think two, you were with another lady I just interviewed this week, and you guys speak good English. I never expected, she said she never thought Africans could speak good English, right? So yes, and that's the annoying part. We are Africans. We were colonized by these Europeans, and we have been imposed to speak and study in their language. You travel with English, and they still expect you to produce English proficiency of 12 years to show that you still came from, you were taught in English, knowing well that English is what we do in our schools. Our math, science is being taught in English. These people don't understand English, but they tend to discriminate when it comes to recruiting teachers. If they place you as an African PhD or graduate student, teacher or students, and then place a senior high school trainee, teacher or student who is from an America, I bet you they will choose American over the African, because they feel that, oh, that's American. But I have worked with some of these people, and trust me, they are nowhere near Africans that we have worked with. Sometimes, truth be told, we are not valued. And that is one thing I feel sad, that we have in us so much. We have learned a lot. We have a lot of capabilities within us, but because our continents are not well-being, I feel sometimes we are wasting our capabilities. We are somewhere looking for greener pastures because of opportunities, because we are not getting what we want back home, and yet we are not being valued. Only few do value us. Yes. So as for discrimination, it's a whole lot. Apart from considering Americans, one, maybe sometimes your skin color give them a different story. It's like some of them have no idea what the skin color is, and you'll be having some kind of weird look at you. You see some student who will be touching you. I remember a student touched my skin, was like, Teacher Hannah, is this your chocolate? And she was like, this your chocolate is not nice. And I asked her, how did you know? She said she used her finger to touch my skin, and then tasted to see if it is chocolate. I was like, oh my god. I was like, this is skin. It is skin just like your own skin. Let's use it's funny, but that's the reality. Some of them have no idea what the skin is, so they look at you with some kind of weird look, some kind of I don't know. Some of them, their first time seeing black skin, just chocolate black skin or whatever it is. Some of them have different perspective. They have a different notion about Africa. Some could just go to the internet and look at Google the poverty, the negative
mud houses, houses
being projected on the internet. They said Africa is so poor. Imagine one woman was telling me, oh, I watched a video in Ghana and I was crying, and I was like, why were you crying? He said people were hungry, and I said, did you watch the whole of Ghanaians? Did you see the video that all Ghanaians were hungry? He said, yes, all the videos. I was like, so you see, these are stories. Yes, I'm not saying it is not true, but like the percentage of negative story is sometimes exaggerated. And yes, it is true. We can't. Should I say yes? Because we are our own problems. Because we are not serious about transforming our country. These are some of the problems that I think it makes some of us cry. Yes, we have cried. Sometimes we cry not because of just the job we are not getting, because I still feel that yes, I just lost my job, but I've had a couple of interviews that are still soon, I will soon start work. But the point is, so when are we moving out? So when are Africans migrating? Are we going to continue migrating every year? Look at the number of nurses migrating. Look at the number of teachers moving out. And some of them are dying in stress. We need to help each other. African can still become better.
Thank you so much. So finally, do you have any last words for someone that wants to come to Japan, or anything you would like to say before we wrap up?
Okay, so I would want to encourage people, especially if you want to come here as a student. That's a plus, because Japanese government have good financial support for students, especially international community, to study, and that's good. You can apply through any of the sponsorship. Don't let people dip you or be charging you for something you can do it yourself. Just go to the internet, search for it, apply. If I always say that it's good to study here, but it's not good to work here, that is to me. But it might be good for you. Maybe this place is not my calling, it might be your calling. What I want to say is, I will encourage you out there. There is more to learn in Japan, yes. Despite the challenges, there are a lot of lessons to be learned here, and I encourage you to apply. Just go to Google, type MEXT Scholarship, JICA. There are so many scholarships. They have ADB. ADB is for the Asians community, but there are so many. JICA, MEXT Scholar. The MEXT Scholar could be through your school, or you can also apply from your embassy. JICA is there, and there are so many. World Bank is there, so many. So just go to the internet and apply. Beloved, it's good to study in Japan. I will not discourage you. You can get either a fully sponsored, and even if it is not fully, come, because some of my colleagues study with a part payment sponsorship, and you are allowed to work, and then you can still work here as a student. Just come, and it is fun to be in the international student store. Okay, Japan is well developed. People have bad perception about this country, that Japan, they didn't know how developed Japan is. But when you come here, you will not be encouraged. You wouldn't want to go back home. The only challenge is the language and other things, that maybe racial differences. But you can still overlook those things and do what you want. So just come for what you want and go. That's what I say. You might not like the country, but for the sake of the benefit, come for what you want and travel. If you want to travel to other part of the world, you can. So thank you guys, and then thank you for listening to us. I'm Wintama Hannah. I would agree. You can call me Hannah or Wintama, but I would prefer to be called Wintama.